Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. We are with the Ranch 95.5, the sound of Texas, and we are glad to be joining you. I'm Steve Kenyon from the Cowboy channel and from Next Gen Rodeo, and it is an honor to be able to tell you the stories of the cowboys and cowgirls in pro rodeo. We're going to be here not every day, but most days from the Ranch 95.9. We join you on social media, and we join you here in the Las Vegas Convention Center. So we get a chance to talk to rodeo contestants, cowboys and cowgirls. That's my favorite thing to do. And the young man sitting next to me is 19 years old. He's a bull rider, first-time qualifier at the National Finals Rodeo from the little town of Erta, Utah. Cooper James joins us. First National Finals Rodeo, you've ridden your first two bulls. Nice start.
Yes, sir. It's been good to me so far. So we're just looking to keep it rolling through the rest of the week.
Tell me about your first bull. Tell me about the first night. What was that pen of bulls? That was kind of the easier spinner pen, right?
Yeah, that was the spinner pen. I had a good one that threw me off in Cheyenne this year, actually. Trump train of Dakota Rodeos, but I ended up getting a little bit of revenge on him, and it worked out for 86 points.
So last night you were 79 and a half. Five guys rode, so you still got a check plus a little bit of ground money. Last night was the eliminator pin. I always think the bull riders are actually kind of smart. You get that eliminator pin out of the way early.
Yeah, that's what we planned in the group chat. Everyone was arguing on when we were going to do that, but we decided to get it done early and get it out of the way while we weren't so sore.
Second round and then again the seventh round?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me about the bull last night.
I had Nighthawk of Big Rafter Rodeo, really good bull. I hadn't seen him much, but they hadn't rode him in like 2 years, and I was excited to get on him, and I made it work.
What makes a bull an eliminator?
You know, they just got something about him, really strong, really fast, powerful, and just got a lot of tricks to him, and not many people want to get on those ones. You know, they'll turn them out throughout the year, and when you're getting on for this amount of money, you got to do it.
How much money have you won so far?
I think I've won right around $35,000 in the last 2 days.
And that doesn't include the $10,000 they gave you just for qualifying.
No, sir. Yeah.
So pretty good start to the National Finals Rodeo as a rookie. I'm going to ask you a question I asked you in an interview that we did earlier. Tell me about getting used to this whole situation. Annoying people like me calling you in the middle of the night saying, hey, can you come do an interview tomorrow? Things like that. What is it like to be here as a rookie, and how much of a adjustment period is there?
Shoot, Steve, I don't think you're annoying yet, but...
Oh, I'll get there, trust me. You're going to get to a point where my name's going to come up on your phone, and you're going to go, I got to block this guy. Just tell me about being here.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of a change. I was more worried about making sure I was everywhere I needed to be, all the signings, the interviews, the meetings. But once you get here and you kind of get in your groove, around day two, it starts to lighten up, and it's just rodeo at this point.
You're pretty well sponsored for a rookie. You've done pretty well in that regard. What's that like to go to people and present yourself? I know your family helps you with all of this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They actually reached out to me. A bunch of my sponsors did, and those actually came on late in the season, and I just signed with a bunch of companies. But it's awesome being able to meet the people of the sport and big companies that you've grown up buying your whole life or being around your whole life. It's awesome to meet those people and just be a part of them.
Speaking of sponsors, we need to say a thank you to Cinch Jeans and Shirts, Leads Don't Follow, Billy Bob's Texas, the Area Texas Rattlers, and the PBR's 2025 PBR Teams Championship. They are behind everything we do here on the Ranch 95.9. So talk to me about tonight, Cole, or Cooper. What is the pen of bulls tonight? When will we see bulls like Big Bank out, the bull of the year? What does the next 3 nights look like for the bull riders?
Yeah, tonight's the tougher spinners, so I believe it's the 3-pen tonight. The bulls that you're going to be 88 to 90 points on, and we got some buckers out tonight, but then tomorrow night we kind of slow it down a little bit, the 2-pen. A good 86 to 88 pointers right there, and then on the 5th round is the TV pen where you're going to see Big Bank. Tonight I got a really good bull, Hey Honey of Honeycuts. Josh Frost was 89 on him in Manti, and I'm excited to see what we match up to be.
How many guys are going to ride a bull tonight? Give me a prediction. I'm going to put you in a box.
You know, we got a tough group of guys. We rode 9 on the first night. I think we can ride around 7 or 8 tonight.
You think you're going to have to be in the mid-80s to place?
I guarantee it. I guarantee it, especially higher up. I think you could see you might be close to 90 tonight.
Really?
Yes, sir.
There's only been 190. The guy that made that 190-point ride is saddle bronc rider Brody Wells. There's only been 190 in any of the 3 riding events. And Brody's going to join us here on this stage in a few minutes. He's standing right over there. But let me ask you about, have you ever had somebody walk up to you and ask you this question? Son, why do you ride bulls? That looks dangerous to me.
All the time.
What do you tell them?
When they say it's crazy, I say thank you. I love it. I've just always wanted to be a bull rider, and there's nothing quite like it. I don't know. I just kind of explain to them it's a way of life and a way we all love it, and it's what we grew up doing.
I remember I used to substitute teach long time ago, and we had the opportunities to do things, and I arranged for a couple of rodeo people to come into a 5th grade class. And the question all those kids are asking, you ever been gored? I mean, you're going to get a lot of that throughout the course of your career. You probably already gotten some of it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, a lot. And, you're walking through an airport and they say, well, where's your horse? Or do you bring your bull? Or, all that stuff. But, no, that's just part of it.
What's interesting, though, is, and I think that events like this and opportunities like this, the Cowboy Channel, all the rodeo coverage that the ranch does, we've had a chance to educate people through the years, to really give folks a chance to get to know more about what we do and how we do it in pro rodeo. I think that by the time you're 19 years old, by the time your career comes to an end, in 15 or 20 years from now, you're going to be amazed how many people are going to know so much about this industry. Part of the fun of the rodeo business is people having those oh my God moments where they see a bull get that high in the air and somebody still stay on, whether they understand everything else going on or not. That is a moment that gets people's attention.
Yes, sir. And I think the sport of rodeo is growing so much, with Teton and everything that's going on with them and just the money involved, and people are loving cowboys. It's in to be a cowboy right now. So,
who helped you become a good bull rider?
My parents had a lot to do with it. My whole family, but then, I went to a couple schools like Gary LeFew's and Cody Custer's, and then Stetson Wright. I went and lived with him for a couple weeks, my 7th, 8th grade year, and then my traveling partner Clayton Sellers, and just feeding off of those guys has been such a big help to me. People who've been around it their whole life and are really doing it.
I'm thinking of people like Gary LeFew, who puts on a lot of schools and teaches a lot of young bull riders. Cody Custer is in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. He was one of the founders of the PBR. Cody has taught a lot as well, and one of the things that he's done is he's also worked with kids and people who produce youth bull ridings to make sure that not just the kids know what they're doing, but the stock is appropriate for the age group and the talent level. But to put this in the form of a question, every one of those guys you just mentioned, whether it's Gary LeFew or Cody Custer or Stetson Wright or now Clayton Sellers, seems to me like they've all got something different to teach you. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir.
What'd you learn from Gary LeFew?
That was one thing I was going to say too. Everyone's style is a little different, so taking a piece of everyone's style and making it work for me. I'm a taller guy, so Gary really teaches getting out over the front and driving out there every jump, and then Cody, he teaches you to stay square and a little bit different from each guy, but just taking little pieces of that has made me the bull rider I am today.
Bobby Mode is a really good friend of mine. Bobby's a 4-time world champion bareback rider. Bobby's got the same thing you do. I asked him one time, I said, what's it like being so many bareback riders are short? He said, I don't know. I've always been a tall bareback rider. I don't know what it's like. Is that your answer? Because you are bigger than most bull riders.
Yeah. It was a little tougher. I used to be a little guy until about my sophomore year of high school, and then everything changed, and I kind of had to relearn how to ride bulls my way, and my dad's been the biggest help with that, and it's working out for me.
Does the size of the bull make a difference to you? It seems to me somehow or another in the randomized computer draw, very frequently the little 5'4", 120-pound guy will draw the 2,000-pound bull. They don't all weigh 2,000. Most of the 1,600, 1,700, something like that. And the big guy like you will get on the little 1,200-pound spinner.
Yeah, that makes a difference. I got a lot of leg hanging down there, so I like getting on them bigger bulls, but I try to make it work, running your knees up on them little ones, but it seems pretty often I'm getting on the littlest one in the pen.
This is an interesting field of bull riders this year. There are 5 first-timers, including T.J. Gray, the world standings leader, Jay Strasclair, who's third. All 5 of the first-timers are in the top 10 in the world standings. Jeter Lawrence, number 1 rookie, number 6 in the world. Wasey Shala, number 2 rookie, number 7 in the world. You're the number 3 rookie and number 10 in the world, and you've moved up since we got here. Those are the stats as of before the first performance. There are 4 guys who were here. There are only 4 bull riders in this field that were here last year. The other 11 have all been either not here for a while or are here for their first time. And there are no world champions in this field of bull riders. The last 10 years, 3 guys have won every gold buckle. So, again, to put this in the form of a question, talk about this field of bull riders and the guys you're riding with.
It's awesome. You know, like you said, the rookie class, I believe we're the best rookie class that bull riding's ever seen. And I'll argue that till the day I die. But, growing up with Jeter and Wasey and even coming around with these first-timers and then being able to be in the locker room as them older guys, it's awesome. You know, you got Bouquet and Sellers and Josh and Chase Doherty and all them guys that have already been here. And just being able to piggyback off them and be able to hang around them guys is awesome.
I've been trying to set up a group of categories for the bull riders at this year's NFR. There's the first-timers. There's the we were here last year guys. And then there's the we're back guys. Because if you look at it, Trevor Rice was here in 2017. Doherty was here in 2018. Tyler Bingham, it's scary to think of the last time he rode a bull at the NFR. It was the 7th round in 2020 at Globe Life Field, and he scared the heck out of all of us. They had to carry him out of the arena. Bouquet's last trip was 2021. I think Jordan Spears' last trip was 2019. I'm missing somebody on that list, but it's really kind of cool to see all those guys back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, being able to be around them guys all year is so awesome. Them older guys, you'll actually learn a bunch, and just being able to – them guys I looked up to ever since I was a kid, and it's awesome to be rodeoing with them.
I've got 2 more questions for you, or 3, and then I'm going to let you go and bring Brody up here. What is life like in the locker room of the bull riders? And the reason I ask this question is in many sports locker rooms and occasionally at the NFR, the first-timers get hazed a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little different between all 3 rough stock events. The bareback and the Bronc riders, that's the wild locker rooms right there. We got them older guys that are more chill, and we don't get too pumped up in there, but there was some rookie bets going on, and if I fell off in the first round, I would have had to shave my head bald, and so I made dang sure I was staying on.
Take off your hat. Ladies, do you want that head being shaved bald? I mean, seriously. That's a party in the front and in the back right there, as a matter of fact.
That's a good head of hair. Huh?
Yeah, it's a good head of hair. Hopefully when you're 65, you'll still have one, by the way. Resistol Rookie of the Year race. The only Resistol rookie that has not already been decided is in the bull riding, and there are 3 of you, Jeter, Wasey, and you. Jeter won the round last night. You've ridden both of your bulls. Wasey's still getting started. But you only get to be the Resistol Rookie of the Year one time.
Yeah, we've been pushing for it all year and been dreaming of this our whole life, so it's going to mean a lot to us to win it. But being able to be in this race with all my buddies and guys I've grown up with, it's awesome to see. And, we're all pushing for it, but I think it's going to come down to who wins that average.
Yeah, I think it is, too. I think a lot of things are going to come down to who wins that average. $33,000 go-rounds. Everybody who's watching online and everybody who's standing here watching us, how much money did you make when you were 19 years old? He came into this NFR with $158,000. Wasey came in with $194,000. Jeter Lawrence has won $206,000. That doesn't include, $45,000 already here at the National Finals for you. Jeter won $33,000 plus the $10,000 you get just for qualifying. I mean, this is big time stuff for a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah,
he doesn't act like a 19-year-old kid, by the way.
Yeah, no, the money's going up in the sport of rodeo. You can get rich riding bucking bulls and bucking horses nowadays.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I think sport's growing, and I love to see it.
We did an interview earlier today. I'm going to ask you one of the same questions I asked you downstairs. All 3 of you rookies are 19 years old. You may or may not have noticed you got to be 21 to do a lot of stuff in this town. So what's your day like? What's your I mean, there are certain places you just flat can't go into for a couple more years. What do you do in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I usually get up, get an iced coffee, because I heard black coffee puts hair on your chest, and I'm not old enough for that yet. So then, just kind of go hang out, go to my Steve Kenyon interviews, and then go to the rodeo and grab a bite, and that's usually a wrap for my night. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. I know Wasey said he's been hanging out at the arcade.
Yeah.
I might have to go bowling or something one of these days.
Yeah.
But there ain't a whole lot to do.
The first year Boudreaux Campbell qualified, he was 20 years old. I remember doing an interview. I asked him the same question. What do you do? He said, a lot of bowling. He said, I've been bowling every day. You told me about the bull. Did I ask you about the bull you got tonight?
Tonight I got Hey Honey of Honeycuts.
That's right.
Really good bull, but yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do.
I'm excited to see what you get done. Folks, this kid's 19 years old. He's already ridden both of his first 2 bulls at his first National Finals Rodeo and could be the Resist All Rookie of the Year this year. Cooper James from Urda, Utah. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Cooper James joining us. We're going to do a quick swap. We're going to go from a bull rider to a saddle bronc rider. By the way, he's a pretty good bronc rider, too, and is in the top 10 in the PRCA's all-around race. Thanks to Cinch, thanks to Billy Bob's Texas, to the Area Texas Rattlers, the PBR 2025 Teams Championship. Anybody go to the rodeo last night? You remember the saddle bronc riding? There has been one ride in all of the riding events this week so far in the first 2 nights that marked 90 points. It was this man right here, Brody Wells from Wyoming.
Thanks,
90-point bronc ride on your second horse at your first NFR.
Yeah, no, it felt good. That was the best feeling I ever felt. Getting, to be 90, been 90 a bunch at, at other rodeos and extreme broncs and stuff like that, but to be 90 in Thomas and Mack, that was just a different feeling.
What was the horse? Tell me about the ride.
Horse was Pretty Woman of Pete Cars. Seen him a bunch, seen the guys have really good rides, high 80s on him. Saw my buddy Cash went around at San Antonio on him last year, so knew what he was. Damo placed on him last year, so got a good rein on him and just had to get a good spur out and stay ahead of him and just do my job.
Brody, there are guys that come to this rodeo for 10 years, never win a go-around.
Yeah, no, it's pretty mind-blowing. I woke up and seen it in the case this morning on the deal. I was like, oh, that's cool. That wasn't just a dream. Sweet.
Yeah. You get to keep those buckles, right? They don't give them to you on the stage at the South Point and then take them back because they got to go carve your name in them or anything, do you?
Oh, no, we get them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Eventually, I know you get them all. I just couldn't remember. I think the ones they give out on the 10th go-round, they actually give them to them and then they have to go engrave them and put.
Yep, and the gold buckles, I think.
Yeah,
too.
you'll have that experience here in 8 days from now.
Yeah, plan on it.
Yeah, there you go. Tell me about your start because you've been great. I think you've moved up several spots in the world standings.
Yeah, just coming in here, was on the bubble run and had to fight in there till about the last weekend. It was pretty close. It come down to I had it made going into San Bernardino that last rodeo,
right.
The last day. But, all those other guys that come down to one header. So I slipped in there and come in here 12th, and I don't even know what I am now. But
you didn't get to go to Sioux Falls, did you?
No, didn't make Sioux Falls.
So at the end of the rodeo season, there are 2 paths to get into the National Finals Rodeo. You can qualify through the Cinch Playoff Series and go to Puyallup, Washington, and maybe go on to the Governor's Cup in Sioux Falls where there are only, 8 guys in each event, and win $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000. Or if you don't have Sioux Falls, you can go on a planes, trains, and automobiles run that has you going from Stephenville, Texas, to San Bernardino, California, to Poway, California, and maybe to Maine.
Yeah.
I'm not making that up. Maybe to Maine.
Yeah.
Tell me about that last couple of weeks.
Oh, I spent the whole time in an airport and in an Uber pretty much.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, me and Logan Hay, we pretty much did it together. We kind of buddied up that last little bit there, but, we went, get on a plane, ride, go back to the airport, get 3-4 hours of sleep, wake up, get an Uber to the airport, go to the airport, fly all day, get there to the rodeo, put your stuff on, ride. So we were doing that when we were like Poway, California, all the way to, back to Mona, back to San Bernardino. You're just entering anywhere you can go. I went from that one weekend, I did Pasadena, Texas one night, I did Madison, Indiana the next night, and then I went to Mandan, North Dakota the next night.
Wow.
All in, 48, 72-hour period,
Wow.
Just back to back to back. So just got to do what you got to do. It sucks, but it definitely is worth it when you're here.
What's the limit for bronc riders that you can count?
100.
100.
Yep.
How many rodeos did you have left going into those last?
I think San Bernardino, I think I had one left after that.
Really?
Yep, one left.
When you're entering in June, July, and August, are you cognizant of, okay, I might need to save myself 20 rodeos or 10 or 15 or whatever the number is for the end of September, just in case?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to leave yourself some, back there, and ideally you want to be up there in the world standings where you can, go to your tour rodeos and go to your Bronc matches, and then kind of just, enter your where you're going to win, here and there. But you got those in the back of your head for when you're in a spot like me. Hey, I didn't make Sioux Falls. I can enter, this, and then you can still have a shot.
Yeah. So I want to ask you the same question I asked Cooper. Tell me about who got you here. Tell me about who taught you to ride, and how did you become a really good saddle bronc rider?
Oh, there's been a ton of people that's helped me, but no, main ones would be, just support from my dad. He rode bulls and bareback horses, but, didn't know much, kind of helped me with the fundamentals, but I needed, a good solid guy. So went to school for Brett Franks out of high school, went down to Clarendon. And
right guy to go to school with.
Yep, so got around a bunch of good guys. My buddy Cash went to school there. The Smith boys were down there. Wyatt Casper just finished up. So, you got some good names guys down there, and rolled in there, it's bottom of the barrel, just some kid from Wyoming, didn't high school rodeo, nothing, just was scratching it out. And
you did in high school rodeo?
No, never did.
Huh.
I was closer where I live in Wyoming, it's kind of, nestled in there a little bit. So it would have been close for me to go to Montana, and I just never got around to, just wasn't, I guess, committed at that point to high school rodeo, and I just kind of went to open stuff and amateur rodeos and open bronc matches. So
I know we've talked about this. Did you start riding when you were a little bit older than a lot of guys, or did you, even though you did in high school rodeo, did you grow up?
Yeah, I mean, I started getting on when I was 16. I was
okay.
Big enough and strong enough, but yeah, and I wanted to wait for, I got on steers and stuff like that, but I didn't want to get on mini broncs or anything like that. So I waited till I was big enough to get on full-size horses, and I don't know, I was just pretty stubborn about it. But.
So you really started competing at this level when you were in college?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. The new thing. There are very few guys, I think, there are very few men and women competing at this rodeo who would answer that question that I did not high school rodeo, I think.
Right. Yeah, me and Damien both.
Huh. I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Damien.
Yeah.
He's from Australia. They do a lot of things different in Australia.
Yeah, that is true.
Talk to me about the money that it took to get into this NFR. Saddle bronc riders, Damien won $280,000. I forget what the bottom hole was, but that bottom hole was $130,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I had, I think, 136 coming in
here,
and it definitely, I definitely would have liked to have another 10 grand, but coming in, would have made me feel better. But I mean, everybody was stacked in there. Like I said in San Bernardino, it come down to a one header from Zach Dallas clear down to Logan Cook. I mean, those guys right in there.
Right.
It was just come down to that last perf there at San Bern. So it was pretty close. But I mean, like Damo jumped out there, and I mean,
yeah,
an exceptional year. So
Damien won 2 go-rounds here last year, and it propelled him right into what he's done this year.
Oh, man, it's been crazy to see his, we've been traveling since we were both just scratching it out. He went to Snyder, an hour south of us, and I went to Clarendon. So it's been crazy to see, both of us go, but he's just hit that level, and it's been so awesome to watch him, and it's been great. Okay,
I want to ask you another one of the same questions I asked Cooper. Tell me about the saddle bronc riders locker room. Tell me about the group. Tell me about the guys. Keep it clean, obviously.
Yeah,
there are ladies present, but I mean, or not. I don't care.
I'll keep it clean.
Okay. Tell me about this group of guys, and tell me, what's life like in the locker room before.
Oh, there's a lot of shit talking going on. A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of beer drinking, but no, everybody's pretty relaxed. You're not going to see too many guys doing yoga or nothing like that. Everybody's just hanging out, getting warmed up, stretching out, but, have a beer or two before we ride and just go out there. And everybody's cowboys, so we like to keep it that way.
What's the pen of horses tonight? Is tonight your E-pen?
Nah, souped up hoppers.
Souped up, and you guys have your eliminator pen tomorrow night.
Yep.
And then the TV pen on Friday.
Yep.
Or on in round 5. What were the first 2 pens of horses?
First 2 was hoppers, and then last night was semi-eliminators.
Okay.
Yep.
And then tonight is the
souped
you just told
hoppers.
me souped up hoppers.
Yep.
And this is your first time here, but do you? To me, the saddle bronc riding eliminator pen nights, I've heard stories that locker room's pretty quiet before the E-pen.
Yeah, it will be. Like in Calgary, just for example, like when Calgary brings their eliminators, up there during the summer, I mean, it's a different feeling. When everybody's got hoppers, everybody's, having fun, but when those eliminators run in and they're on the list and you see them next to your name, you got to bear down because they're big. You got to crawl up the buck and chutes to get on them.
Yeah.
Your swells are this far above the top rail, so they're scary.
Yeah. I've done a million interviews in my life. I've always, in the back of my mind, thought asking somebody about his or her game plan is a little bit of a silly question in rodeo because basically all you're doing is competing with and against the animal that you draw. You can't play defense unless you're a real good trash talker. Yeah. Did I just say that with my outside voice? I'm sorry. Yeah. But as much as you can, as you thought about coming down here, do you think to yourself, okay, if I can get by the 2 eliminator pins, if I can make rides in both of those, then I got a shot in the average? What pre-planning or what thoughts did you have coming in here?
I mean, I just like to keep it simple. Like, I just watched Damo do it last year, and it's just what we try to do is you try to do the same thing every time. Practice pen, 10th round of the finals. I mean, whatever, in my mind, And of course it's different, when you got your strap and your stuff to a scary one. But, I mean, yeah, ideally I always want to stay on every horse I get on. But if I go down trying to win the round, that's better than being 80 points,
For those of us who have never ridden saddle bronc horses or bareback horses or bucking bulls for a living, tell me about the moments when you are getting on the horse. And you can tell me if I'm nuts for what I'm about to say. I remember thinking, okay, how do I make this work for people who haven't ever done this? And I started to think back to when I was playing basketball in high school. And I'd go up to the free throw line, and my coach would say, get in a rhythm. Do the same thing every time. Bounce it twice, spin it on your hand, take a look, take a deep breath, shoot.
Oh, for sure.
Which for me usually ended up with a clang off the back rim, but that's a whole other story. Is that the way you approach getting on a horse? You want, as much as the horse will allow, try to do the same thing every time?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you want to just try to make everything the exact same, control the variables as much as you can. You can't ever, horses are going to flip out. You might get on one horse that stands dead broke, easy to saddle, get out on. You might get on one that's just wild, trying to rip the buck and shoot apart. But, you try to find that fine line of just, trying to equal everything out the most you can to make it, as even as you can every time. So,
and it's almost never going to be the same because the horses are never the same.
No, never. Every horse is different. Every horse is built different. Every arena is a little different. You could get on one horse, that Wild Cherry might stand perfect in Calgary, but it might rip apart the buck and shoot tonight. So you never know.
Yeah. Is Wild Cherry out tonight? Did I see that? Yeah. Who's got Wild Cherry? Do you remember?
Cade Bruno. Yeah.
Well, that should be wild.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That horse is interesting, though, because that horse, I mean, I've seen exactly that. I watched, years ago, I think it was Ryder win Puyallup on that horse. Mm-hmm. And one day, that horse just stands like a baby, but an awful lot of times, you better know just as soon as your butt hits the saddle, Wild Cherry's going to be ready to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, she's electric.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's just that same thing, Those horses will just do different stuff, and one day they can be fine, and the next day they're just try to kill you in there, but most of the time they're pretty good, and you just figure out ways to get around them, and, we're all kind of, I'd like to say most of us are all real cowboys, so, we ride horses all the time, start colts, we're team roping and Brandon and stuff, so we all know how to be around horses and young stuff, so that helps a lot, but.
You just started to answer my next question. What's your life like when you're not on the road, when you're not at a rodeo?
Oh, anymore when I'm home, I pretty much just hunt and ride horses.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you start colts?
Yep, start my own, yeah.
Does that help you be a good bronc rider?
It did, yeah. I mean, for sure on the horseman part. I mean, just getting around horses and being around, getting around big stuff on the ground and next to them and then just riding them. You're just feeling the balance and feeling a horse, like you watch Zeke. Zeke grew up riding horses since he's that much. And you can just see his balance and how he moves his hips and everything in his style. And that's just from riding horses from when he's, hitting the ground.
It seems to me that being able to ride a saddle horse well would help you in the saddle bronc riding. There are a few bareback riders who, truth be known, and there are a lot of bull riders, truth be known, can't ride a saddle horse.
Oh, yeah.
The most scary part for some of those guys is the victory lap.
I know.
But it seems to me that being a good horseman would help you in the saddle bronc riding.
Oh, for sure. And it just goes back to your balance. I mean, riding with your legs and, just using your legs, using your balance, and just, I don't know, just being on a horse like all day. I feel like the best day for me if I went and, shot a couple horses and rode some colts and then I went and got on a bronc, I'd feel like perfect,
Interesting.
for me. But,
what have you learned so far in your first 2 days here? Or your first week here?
Oh, man, I've learned a bunch since I've been here. But, I've been taking it in. I feel like I've been doing a pretty decent job at it, but just taking it, keeping it simple and enjoying the moments, but also it's just another rodeo in your mind, but you gotta take it for what it is. This is the coolest rodeo ever. And greatest atmosphere you could come to, and I got all my family and friends down here. And
how many people came?
Oh, I don't even know. I can't count that high, Steve.
Got it. Okay, this is either the best or the worst question of the interview, but it's the last question of the interview. Okay? Let's just imagine it's a week from today, and you've got the TV pin in the 10th round of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and you've continued to have a lot of success, and you're about ready to maybe have a chance to nod your head for a world title. Is there one horse in that TV pin? Is there one horse you'd really love to get on?
Yeah, All or Nothing at Andrews.
I'll bet you a lot of guys would say that.
Yeah, won the halter this year. And I would say Black Tie would have to be, that wouldn't be a bad draw either, But I've been on Black Tie a couple times, but I've drawn around that All or Nothing so many times, and I've seen him be outstanding. Sage won it on him last year. I watched Damo win Fort Worth on him. I mean, he's just so cool and so good every time. So just, you're going to have one that's going to do the same thing, give a guy a chance to win, and it helps when they're, horse of the year. So
yeah, exactly. I'll bet you a lot of guys would say that same thing. Yep. Brody, congratulations, 90 on your second horse at your first NFR.
Thanks, Steve.
The number of guys that can say that is probably a very, very, very small fraternity.
Yeah, so I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah,
pretty lucky. Thankful for it.
Got a chance to do it again tonight?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Hopefully.
I hope you do. We appreciate it, and Tyler Wags is here. Awesome. Tyler Wagisback's coming up. Thanks to Cinch. Thanks to Billy Bob's Texas. Thanks to the area Texas Rattlers. Thanks to the PBR. Folks, give Brody Wells a hand. The guy that was 90 points last night on his second horse at his first National Finals Rodeo. Good luck the rest of the week. Thank you, Brody. I get the biggest kick out of these guys and the talent and the talent pool, the amount of money that these saddle bronc riders have won throughout the course of this year is, I think if you look at the list, there are 7 bronc riders right now. Brody, does this sound right? There's over 7 of you already that are over $200,000 for the year, and Damian went over $300,000 last night. So that's how big the money is getting for the contestants who are coming. When's Tyler going to get one?
He is finishing a signing, and he's coming right over, so 5 minutes or so.
Okay, so folks, hang around if you want to. We're about 5 minutes away from the world champion 5 times, the last 3 times. Tyler Wagisback, courtesy of the folks at Cinch, is going to join us. Thank you from the ranch, 95.5, the sound of Texas. We're going to play you some music and be back in just a little bit.